Hey everybody, I am John Anderson, Director of Media for Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. We are Nebraska's voice when it comes to Second Amendment issues. We've got about 30,000 Nebraskans who follow us, and they all strongly believe in the rights and the freedoms protected by the Second Amendment. We invited candidates running for Congress, Governor, Nebraska State Legislature, City Councils, and County Sheriff to participate in our Online Townhall Series, Meet the Candidates. Our format for this event is an online recorded interview. Each recording is unedited. Our members have prepared questions to assess candidates running for elected office. And now I would like to introduce Jana Hughes, who is running for Nebraska Legislature, District 24. Jana, welcome, and thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we will get right into it here. Our first question is, why did you agree to participate in this online town hall with Nebraska Firearms Owners Association?
So I agreed to participate in it. I have a lot of friends that have like concealed carry. Nebraska, I grew up on a farm, and owning firearms and hunting and just for protection is very important. And I know the NFOA is a good resource on education for that. And so I just thought it would be fitting and a good thing to be part of this discussion and for information for your members.
Okay. Next, our members wanted to know, what is your favorite firearm and how often do you shoot it?
So we have 2 rifles and a shotgun, and I do not hunt myself. I've been hunting, but I usually use it just for target practice. But we live on an acreage out in the country, and so it is a necessity. Mostly we're using it for the problem little raccoon critters that seem to cause havoc sometimes in our garage and things like that. So we use it kind of for nuisance animals, if you will. And then my husband does hunt. So myself, I don't use it that often, just target practice myself.
All right. Now we'd like to hear, what is the number one purpose of government?
So to me, the government provides infrastructure. I mean, whether that be roads, bridges, and things, it provides protection as a country with our military and protection for citizens just with our police force and things like that. But number one, it needs to support, in my opinion, what the people that it supports want, and it needs to do our bidding, and we have to follow our Constitution, which is our basic law, and any legislation needs to follow that structure. If that needs to be changed, it needs to be a constitutional change. But yeah, the government is here to support the people that it governs.
Okay, our members have several issues of interest. Let's dive in with the next question. What are you going to do to protect Nebraskans from the federal government's attempts to restrict the Second Amendment?
So everything that I can within, I mean, I'm running for state legislature, it's not a federal position. I know it's very complex, and when I get into the legislature, I will really, I mean, there's many layers to everything, and it's not easy, but kind of what I've always said just in this year that I'm campaigning, if you will, it's all about, for me, developing relationships. So it's relationships with just all sorts of different groups within my district and state, and having those relationships made so that when legislation comes across my desk that affects certain groups or certain people, I can reach out to those groups and get information and thoughts on it that I can use to make the right, or as good of a decision as I can, I guess, on that particular bill or whatever. And so I just look like with the NFOA developing a relationship there. Just in general, I've been to NRD meetings. I've been to the public power meetings, board meetings. I'm really working hard at meeting a lot of people, so I have those relationships and contacts made, so that when things come across, I'm ready and can reach out to those people to help me make the right decision for our district.
All right. Now we'll go a bit further with some specific issues we're addressing in Nebraska lately. What is your position on constitutional carry, and what will you do or what have you done in support of that position?
Right. So Senator Brewer passed or brought that bill to the forefront, as we saw just the last couple of weeks. I would support that if I got to be a state senator and do what I can for that. It is our constitutional right to bear arms. It makes us a very unique country, and it's very important. And so I feel like we need to do all that we can to protect that right. And so I'm guessing that will come again next legislative session, come to a forefront, and I would be, happy to be part of that.
All right. How about your position on red flag laws, and what will you do or have you done in support of that position?
So I haven't done anything because I'm just running like for all these, but yeah, they are, to me, as stated, and I know different states maybe call them different things, but seem to be against what our constitutional right is. And so I think we just have to be vigilant, if you will, of what might come in bill wise that would be something like that. Because I mean, they're not going to just say, "Hey, let's put in a red flag law." We just have to watch for that and make sure that doesn't start, I don't know, chipping away, I guess, at our constitutional rights, Nebraska, and as a country.
All right. As one of the few states without it, let's discuss your thoughts on state preemption of firearm laws, and what will you do or have you done in support of that position?
So I had to look this one up. And from what I understand, it is where, like, I typically do support local control. I'm on a public school board here in my district, and I just think local control is usually the best answer for things. But from what it sounds like, the preemption law, a local unit might have a different role than the higher governing body, and it just seems like it might lend confusion to the system, confusion for people that own the weapon. Like if it's different in Lincoln than it would be out rural area or whatever. And so I just think it needs to be, I don't know if we want to say simpler, but just more clear, I guess, whether, wherever you go, that it's consistent. I guess we're looking for consistency. So.
Okay. Recently, we had an opportunity to address some much needed protections via LB 300 Castle Doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Castle Doctrine, and what will you do or have you done in support of that position?
So I 100% your home, if you want, is your castle. However, mine's a little bit of a messy castle. But I think that 100% you should be able to defend your home, your family, your, whoever's there. And so if someone is, threatening you, you should be able to, stand up for that protection and, you should be able to defend yourself. So I am fully supportive of, Castle Doctrine, and you should be able to defend yourself.
All right. In our state, we don't have the ability to remain in a place we are legally allowed to be and have a duty to retreat. What are your thoughts on duty to retreat, and what will you do or have you done in support of that position?
And I know so I have a friend that just went through the concealed carry training or whatever, and was kind of explaining to me the duty to retreat. I think, in essence, it sounds good. But I don't know in a real life situation if it's always viable, or, if trying to get away puts you at more risk. And so I would be a little worried, I guess, that if that's in place and you just having someone else decide for you that you didn't do the right thing in a moment's notice, I just think you should be if you thought you were protecting yourself, that should stand, I guess. So.
All right. In general, are there any specific gun laws you think should be repealed?
So I did not do my research enough to know actual specifics. I do know just from other contacts I've had that there are maybe some rules set like different in Lincoln or Omaha than other, that if presented, I would really research and see if that if those need to be repealed. But I don't have a specific one today.
Okay. NFOA believes in education. What is your position on mandating firearm safety classes or programs in K through 12 public schools?
So I believe in as much education as possible. That definitely, and with firearm safety, I took a hunting safety class. I grew up on a farm, so I took a farm safety class with equipment around the farm, which can also be very dangerous. So I think education is very, very important. It teaches respect. It teaches kind of what truly things can happen. You learn about what can happen with, when you're dealing with a weapon. With my school board hat on, I also am completely against unfunded mandates. I've seen what legislation passes, and yes, all the schools have to do this, and there's no funds to follow it. So I am against unfunded mandates. But I think this could be, if it could come through funded, it would be a nice option. But also, I think in addition to that, I guess it would be a really great thing to have maybe as an elective in a school as a choice. I think parents would definitely want to sign up for something like that. But unless it's funded, I do not believe in unfunded mandates for schools.
All right. Being a 2A supporter, what is your position on the intent and purpose of the Second Amendment?
So the Second Amendment truly makes the United States what it is. I feel like that has a stand apart from all other countries. And for that, so I'm going to use kind of an example. I might go off track here, but hopefully it'll tie it in at the end. We had an exchange student a couple years ago from Austria. And so just talking with her, I got to know her folks, and we've been in constant communication. But our exchange student's grandpa passed away in Austria, and he had a gun that he from the military service. And upon his death, their government came and took it away. So it was something that couldn't be passed down. It was his until he died. And then once they, found out he died, it was taken away. And I don't know, it shocked me that happens. And it kind of opened my eyes, I guess, to what other countries, what some of the rules are in place and things like that. And I don't know, really made me, I guess, take notice too then of our rights and how, I just couldn't wrap my brain around that happening here. And we've got to ensure that something like that could not happen here. And so, anyway, that brought it to light how unique we are, and it makes us what we are, and that we can defend ourselves. And it is part of our Constitution. Unless that gets taken away, we're fighting for it tooth and nail. So.
All right. And lastly, let's move to the Nebraska Constitution.
Yes.
How will Article 1, Section 1, the Statement of Rights of the Nebraska Constitution, impact your decision-making in the role you are pursuing?
So kind of similar with our, United States Constitution, that our government comes from our citizens, and the government itself should not limit any of our rights. And it lays it out. The Nebraska Article 1, Section 1 also states it very clearly, and we have got to uphold those. We have an inherent right to own arms and defend ourselves, and for hunting and things like that. And so we've just got to make sure that there's no attempts to take that away. And I think we have to watch for it gradually. It's not going to start out. They're not going to, someone's not going to come in and say, okay, we're going to, take up all the guns or whatever. It just starts chipping away little by little. And we've just got to be prepared for that and watch for that.
All right. So as I said earlier, these questions were submitted by our members from a poll that we had taken, asking them what they would like to ask candidates here. And so if anybody who is watching this would like to reach out to you and maybe get some clarification or follow up on any of the answers that you gave here, how can people reach you, Jana?
Sure. My email is janahughes89@gmail.com. So JANAHUGHES 89. I'm giving away my age because that's when I graduated from high school, at gmail.com. So that's probably the best way to get me. I also have a website, and it's www. Oh, before I say this, I'm going to check and just make sure I say it right. I'm pretty sure it's janahughesforlegislature.com. I'm so sorry. I should have prepared. You even told me before that was going to be on here. Okay. janahughesforlegislator.com. And same way, JANAHUGHES for legislator.com. And you can, there's a contact little link on that as well. So.
All right. This has been Jana Hughes, who is running for Nebraska Legislature District 24. Jana, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and answer our members' questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate it.